Very instrumental. I'm a numbers person. In my past life, I'm a CFO, right? And so she gives us all of the metrics. But when I get the report from her every month, I feel so bad. But it also inspires me. It also to do better.
Every month, when you feel bad, I'm like, yes, I got it.
Yes. You want to introduce Susan, honey? Go.
So Susan is honestly my spirit animal. Honestly, like we talk about numbers, we talk about production, we talk about retention, we talk about attraction, but Susan quantifies it for us. And I am all about the numbers. So when we just talked about this, when we try to tell a story, we need the data behind it, but she's not just that person. She actually is innovative, she's creative, she actually inspires me to do more within our organization.
I'm gonna put you in my pocket. All right, so hey guys, my actual title is Director of Retention, but I'll tell you really briefly how I got here. I've been in real estate for 20 plus years now, and most of that time I've spent running brokerages. So I've been a real estate coach, a trainer, managing broker, vice president of sales for the top 10 global Century 21 franchise. I was there for 12 years. And so I've always been running brokerages, and I came to eXp, honestly kind of as a fluke, but anyways, that's a whole other story. I'll save for another time, right? But I came to eXp and I thought, I'm just gonna be an agent. I'm going to grow my own organization. This is gonna be amazing. My husband is already at eXp also. So I was just growing our little organization, and I started onboarding. And we have some, onboarding sometimes challenges, right? So I'm like, I can do this better. So I started an onboarding process, and long story short, I made some contacts at eXp Corporate, and they said, hey, how would you like to come and work with the alphas and the betas and kind of help them run a better brokerage under the eXp umbrella? And I'm like, I can do that, great. I took the job, and then my first question after I took the job was, hey, tell me the data, the stats, what do we give these great leaders to run their organization? We really don't. Well, let's start there. So I started putting together a bunch of data that no one had access to, right? So production, and who's icon, and who's a mentor or a mentee, and just all of what area are they in, just all of this information, and giving it to the alphas and some of the betas. And so that's how I met the amazing Truongs here. So that's where I became known as like the data queen. So it's a love-hate relationship with data, though. I'm going to be really honest. I love it and I hate it. But so helping the alphas and betas run an organization, I moved into the director of retention for eXp. So now we've never had, you guys, someone just focused on retention at the company in the history of the company, right? It's so crazy. So this is like, and I always use this analogy, it's a big mountain, right, that I'm climbing. So I've got my climbing gear on my back, and I'm ready to climb this mountain. And I'll tell you guys, I'm going to tell you 3 things really quickly that I'm working on to help retention at a company level. And you guys are the first people to hear these things outside of our senior leadership team. So you guys are super special, right? Y'all get a little special badge.
Yes.
So 3 things really quickly. Number 1, I'm going to start small and go big because I like to end with a bang. So small, number 1, the first thing I'm doing, when an agent leaves eXp, of course I get the list, and I look at the number of FLAs that person has, right? And I start at the top, and I say, all right, Bob left, and Bob has 5 FLAs. Well, how many of those agents are still here? 4 of them. Great. Well, let me call and get everyone in the upline, all of the state broker teams involved to wrap our arms around these, I call them orphans, right? I don't know if that's like, should I? But that's what I call them, right? My sponsor left, I'm an orphan. So I'm getting uplines and state broker teams involved to wrap our arms and say, and like link arms with these people and say, you don't have a sponsor anymore, but you don't need that person because here we're all one company, we're all going to the top together. So that's actually working really, really well, and we've been able to retain about 90% of those orphans, right, since we started that.
Wow.
So the second thing I'm working on is Frame. Who's heard of Frame? Okay, so if you haven't heard of Frame, we all know eXp World, right? Yep. So eXp World, you have to download it, and you have to have the right computer specifications and all things that I don't know about. And some people can't download eXp World. Well, so we've actually built, I say we like I'm a part of it. I'm not a part of it, but eXp Corporate, right? So we built a Frame, and it's a web-based version of my eXp. So we're building out in Frame basically another version of eXp World. So anyone can go in as long as you have access to the internet. You can go in there, right? So there's 2 rooms in Frame that I'm really excited about. The first one is an onboarding room. So because of some of the hiccups that we sometimes have, right? As a company onboarding agents, we're going to have an onboarding room that's going to be staffed with people, so you can bring your agent in and talk to someone and say, help. Why did my W-9 get sent back 3 times, right? I don't know. Well, you need to flip these lines, right? Yeah. So the onboarding room, and that has nothing to do with me, but I'm excited, so I wanted to share it with you. So we soft launched it actually this week, but that's going to grow, obviously, as we define that. But the thing that I'm really excited about, because I'm part of it, is I'm building out a room and frame for retention. I'm calling it the expert room until I get a better name. If you have a better name, let me know. But for now, it's called the Expert Room, and so it will literally be the one place for all things eXp. Because you know, we go and we try to find something, and then the link is bad, and then that document doesn't exist, and well, where did I find that last time? So I want it to be one place for all things eXp. So I'm actually building it out right now. Really excited about it. We'll do a soft launch this month, and then we'll grow it from there. So one place for all things eXp is kind of makes me lose sleep, but it's fine. I got my climbing gear on, and we can do it. Last thing, really excited. So I told you guys I started putting together all this data for, you know, all of the influencers I was working with. I have been pushing this huge boulder up this mountain. I have a mountain, that's my recurring thing, right? But I've been pushing this huge boulder up this mountain since I started to say, look, this data needs to be in the hands of everyone. So not just alphas and betas, you know, that we pull it for manually. So I've been moving and working with the developers of my eXp to get all that data into my eXp. So my goal and what we're working toward is for any agent, even if you have one agent, you've got one person in your downline, you'll be able to log into my eXp and it will say, welcome Bob, today is July 17th, I don't know what today is, 17th, I don't know. And you have 25 agents in your organization who haven't had a closing in the last 90 days. Click here to invite them to a training. Here are your icons, click here to send them flowers. Here are your cappers, click here to send them a card, right? So that's where we're going with this, and I'm so excited to say, so Kostib and Shoeb, you know, they kind of run my eXp and all of the data side, and right now they're working on a mock user interface. So I'm learning so many like cool tech terms I didn't know. So I was talking to Kostib, and I'm like, hey, you know, do you have an update? And he was like, yeah, we'll have a mock UI for you on this date. I'm like, awesome, thanks. And I'm Googling, what's a mock UI in tech? User interface, got it. So I'm learning all these really cool things, but we're actually building this out so that everyone will have access to this data. So this will be a huge game changer for eXp, retaining our agents and helping them get productive and stay productive. So you guys are the first people to hear about that outside of corporate. So,
woo, baby. Thank you, Susan.
All right.
I love that. Isn't that exciting? Wow.